Hey guys, what's up? Daniel here. Today I wanted to do a quick review of the Samsung Galaxy S6. Now this is Samsung's latest flagship and it's one of the best phones that have come out over the past few years, and it's definitely Samsung's best phone to date. They've changed the hardware completely to the past generation phones, and it just makes me really excited for Samsung's future phones. It no longer has a removable battery and you can't expand the storage, but you're definitely getting a nicer feel of a phone and you feel like you're getting more of the money's worth than you were previously. Now I've been using these for about 2 weeks and all I can say is that I just love these phones. These are some of the best Android phones out there right now. And I say these because we also have the brother here, the sibling, the S6 Edge. This one retails for $100 more. And first thing that I want to note here is that the screen on this one is yellow tinted and you can't see it in the camera. I've tried my best to try to get it somehow to be noticeable in the camera, but you really cannot. You just can't, and it's very hard to explain how it looks. But when I look at the phone straight on, it just looks a little bit yellow to me, and it's tinted yellow. And the only way I can get rid of that tint if I see it from this angle, I think you can maybe see it in the camera a little bit. If you see it from there, it looks completely white. If I keep turning a little bit, it turns a little bit yellow. And once you realize that, you cannot unsee it, which really stinks. I didn't notice it for the first few days. Once I realized it, I was just going crazy because this one does not have that problem. And that's a big thing because when you're watching videos with a lot of whites like this video right here, a lot of it will look a little bit yellow, and that's not nice to have, especially when you're paying the extra $100 for this one right here. With that said, you're definitely getting a product that feels a little bit more slimmer, sleeker, and more futuristic than this one right here. This one just feels a few years ahead of it, and it's definitely worth the premium price. If you like design and you like the little extra features that it has a cool nighttime clock feature, which is on right here, but you can't probably see it. It turns on a clock right here on the edge, which you can see at night. And we also get a cool little contacts feature, which you can pull from the corner right here and just call someone directly. And if you can see the colors around the rings, those colors will actually light up on the side of the phone to tell you who's calling without you having to flip the phone over when it's on a table. So it's cool little features, definitely not worth the $100, but you know, it's really cool that it has the edge and stuff. So if you're looking for design and stuff, just make sure that it doesn't have a yellow tinted screen. I don't know if all of them are coming out like that or it's just a few, but I would definitely double check that before you get it or keep it, because you might want to return it if it has that, especially once you really see it. But yeah, aside from those things, they're the exact same phone. I mean, games feel a little bit cooler to play on here, as well as browse through media and watch videos just because of the curves. I mean, once you use these curves and see how well they look, you might just fall in love with this phone. It just feels great. But aside from that, it's the exact same phone. We're getting the same speedy phone, the latest specs in the market, a super fast phone. It shouldn't get slow anytime soon. But we do, of course, have Touchwiz on this phone. Now, Touchwiz, as you know, is running on top of Android. And I've never liked it, mainly because it just has a bunch of colors. It just has a bunch of things going on. As you can see, the icons here, just they don't look all that great to me specifically. I don't know, maybe to you, maybe you like them. If so, and if you're fine with Touchwiz, this is a must-have phone. And you should just go out there, get it, and you won't regret it because everything about it is great. The battery life lasted me about a full day and sometimes went on to the next day, but for the most part it stayed at a day. It's a little bit better than my iPhone 6, but not as good as I expected it to be, and that's mostly definitely due to, you know, the fact that the phones are getting so slim, which is a little bit unfortunate, but in a few years we'll definitely get some better batteries and nicer phones, but it'll definitely last you. And what's great about this is that the quick charge will actually charge your phone in just a few minutes. You'll get like hours of use, and that's the most awesome thing ever. The drawback to this is that if you connect this thing to a computer or anything that is not the quick charge, it will take forever to charge. I tried charging this off of my Xbox, off of my iMac, and this thing would barely even budge. So if you want to charge this phone, you might have to carry around the actual adapter that it comes with to charge the phone, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's good to know that once you connect that to the wall, you're going to get enough battery life to check a few more emails at the end of the day or make an important call or anything along those lines. I could tell you about the specs, but I'm going to tell you straight out that anything that you throw at this phone, it's going to run without a problem. You can open a ton of apps and then use the multitasking bar or anything like that, and you're not going to have a problem with the speed. And there's a lot of tweaks and things that you can do to change this up if you don't like anything about it. So that's always not an issue. You can make this phone your own because of Android. So if you don't like anything about it, you can always change it. But I'm just a big fan of stock Android, which is one of the reasons why I wouldn't get this phone. But you can open things up without a problem. Things load quickly, the internet loads quickly, movies load quickly. You don't have any problem with anything like that. It's the latest specs on the market, so you won't have a problem with that. Trust me. You can throw anything at it and it's going to run it really well. I've been playing Hearthstone a lot, and I played it on the S6 Edge because it just looks a whole lot better than on here. The yellow tinted screen actually in this game isn't too noticeable because it actually helps kind of tone down the overall color, and it actually ends up not bothering me at all in this game specifically. But when I'm browsing the web, it does, which is kind of annoying. And you can see kind of the layout here has a lot of yellows and stuff, so it doesn't really ruin the experience in this case. But you can kind of see how games look so cool. They kind of go over the edge a little bit, which is what's kind of cool about it. And once you use it, you're going to feel so futuristic with this phone. So that's why you maybe might pay a premium of $100 more for this phone. And it's definitely unique, and people are going to ask you a lot of questions about it. All right, so just real quick, something I almost forgot to mention is that the fingerprint sensor is definitely back, and they definitely improved it. They've improved the button right here as well. You no longer have to swipe to get the fingerprint read. You can just place it just like Touch ID on the iPhone 6 and 5S. So you can just place your finger and it's going to recognize it. It's going to unlock immediately. I took it off after the first day because for some reason it stopped working. Like, it wouldn't recognize my finger after the third try, and I would have to unlock it with a password. And maybe if you add your finger multiple times it would work better, but I gave up on it. I just thought it wasn't as consistent as the one on the iPhone 6, but it definitely does work. So if you want the fingerprint sensor, it's going to work better than the one on the Galaxy S5. One of the most important aspects with phones nowadays is the camera. And with this phone, you're not going to have a problem because you're going to get one of the best cameras in the market out right now. It's a little bit better than my iPhone 6. It just takes just crisp pictures compared to my iPhone 6. Sometimes the colors are off, but that's just very rare, and it might overexpose sometimes, or maybe brighten up the greens a little bit too much and do things like that, oversaturate. But for the most part, you're going to get a really great picture that you're going to be able to share on social media without any problems. You can also zoom in without losing too much quality, and that's what's good about the megapixels. But you're not going to have any problems. You got a lot of modes here. You can use the Pro mode if you want to change a little bit more things. If you know a little bit more about photography, you're going to be able to change the ISO, the white balances, and a few more other things. You, of course, have timers up there, metering, some effects here. My favorite one here is the cartoon. You can get some really cool pictures out of that, and just some really cool effects and take some cool pictures. But a lot of phones have those. You can download other ones, which is kind of cool, and that's from the Samsung Galaxy S6 or the Samsung store. And that's pretty much it for the camera. You can also take 4K video. Now that's gonna really drag out your battery life, but if you have enough battery life, that is the way to go for video because it's gonna look really good. I feel like sometimes it ruins it with the auto stabilization that it has because it kind of gets a little bit shaky, but for the most part, you're gonna get some really good and detailed video. And if you have a stabilizer for the phone, if you can get something on Amazon that's cheap, kind of like a handheld one, and shoot with this can become a really good main camera for shooting home videos and things like that. Or if you're getting started in film, you can also use your phone as a film camera or a video camera for some time until you save up enough for a DSLR or something along those lines. But yeah, the camera is great, and pretty much everything about this phone is great, guys. The only thing I personally don't like is Touchwiz. With that said, if you've used Touchwiz in the past and you haven't minded, then this time around it's way better than before, and you're gonna probably like it even more now because Samsung doesn't include too many things. They're not kind of forcing you to use its features S-Voice is still around, and you don't have to use it. I feel like I haven't even been prompted about it once after the initial setup, which is great because I don't want to use that. I want to use Google Now. And yeah, you of course have all your Google apps here, but I kind of went over that in the overview, and that's kind of standard for most Android devices. But yeah, this is the Samsung Galaxy S6, guys. Samsung's latest flagship, and this is the black color. One of the things is that it kind of looks blue depending on the light, but it's definitely black. And yeah, guys, that pretty much is it for this video. If you guys ever have any specific questions on any of the products, feel free to contact me on the website or on Twitter, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Aside from that, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.